Hi everyone, I'm going to do a couple of scene reads from my middle grade paranormal supernatural horror story book, One Bone Anthology 1, out now under my middle grade teen children's young adult name of TK Rathbone. I'm going to be doing 3 scene reads from the first 3 books, which are also ebooks, but all in here. So let's go with the first one. It's from Next Top Mannequin. It was my turn again, and down the catwalk I sashayed. I twirled and stopped, distracted by something at the door to the hallway. Dill dear, keep moving. Don't let yourself be distracted, Patrice called sharply. Keep in time with the music. With my heart racing, I walked back and fell down the stairs. Hey, Dell, take it easy, Macy grumbled. You nearly knocked me over. She raced up the stairs and took off down the runway. Are you all right, Dell? Samantha asked. I looked up from my position on the ground to see my fellow graduates smirking at me. Yeah, I brushed my hands off and struggled to my feet. I just tripped. I'm fine. All right, go and change and line up again. I made it to my change station with Macy hot on my tail. What happened to you? I pulled on another top. Yeah, sorry, I tripped down the stairs. So I noticed. Glad you didn't knock me over, she mumbled under her clothes. Are you all right? Not bleeding or anything? I checked my knees, which I'd fallen on. A bit sore, but no blood. I changed into my jeans and finished dressing. On my way down the runway for the third and last time, I glanced at the doorway. I couldn't see anyone going in or out, but I did see a figure standing there watching, arms outstretched, wearing the clothes I'd put on it yesterday. Mannequin number 25 was standing in the doorway. And that was a scene read from Next Top Mannequin, also out in ebook and in One Bone, all formats behind me. We will now do a scene read from Cinderella and Princess Charming, Witch Hunters, from One Bone, Anthology 1. With a burst of light brighter than a fireball, Madame Neela and her sons started changing. Their skin changed colour and sagged and stretched. Their bodies bent over, their hair fell out, their hands became crippled and they grew old and ugly. The light subsided and all that was left was 3 decrepit old people. Princess blinked slowly. And again. And a third time. What just happened? She was transfixed by what she had witnessed, the possibility of it being all too real. Midnight happened, cackled the person formerly known as Mikhail. We can still fix this, cried Madame Neela. We just need her blood. She started chanting something from the book. Wee ma woo moo, wee ma woo. Oh, for goodness sake, Princess crossed her arms. I'm going home. She turned and stomped off in the general direction of the bell, but suddenly found herself floating in the air. What the? She flew backwards until she landed in front of the stone pile where Madame and her sons were waiting. You are not going anywhere until we get your blood, Princess Charming, and even then you will not live to tell the tale, Madame cackled. I'll hold her down. Mikhail, you get your knife and drain her blood. Drain my... Princess struggled to move. What do you mean, drain my blood? Wait, are you the freaks my parents warned me about? The ones who might try to do something to me tonight? She spied the huge knife Mikhail produced and shivered. But what scared her more was the long green tongue that slid out from between his lips. Cinderella heard the scream across the field and took off running. He'd been searching for Princess, but came to the conclusion she'd gone back inside. Now screams were echoing across the field, emanating from the forest in front of him. He smashed through the underbrush, following the screams until he came upon the altar and 3 decrepit old people. One of them had a long green tongue that was licking Princess's bare neck and chest. Ah! Princess, I'm here. He ran for her, not sure of what to do. Cinderella, I'm so glad you're here, she nodded toward the old people. They're attacking me and want my blood. Kill them. Stay back, Cinder, or I will kill you too. We need her blood. We will be done when Mikhail can get it. Mikhail? Cinder paused, confused by the turn of events. He shook his head. Wait, that can't be. It is, Princess cried. They changed when the clock struck 12. No, what do you mean they changed? He was dazed, barely understanding what was going on, even though it was going on in front of him. Madame Neela shook her head. You stupid boy. We're witches, and we are here to take Princess's blood. You will not stop us. Witches? Cinder remembered snatches of the letter he'd read. The letter from his mother. Your witches? He asked the person formerly known as his stepmother. All of you? Witches? I'm now going to do a scene read from www.badluckyourdead.com, which is probably more for 12 to 15s than 9 to 12, so it's up to your discretion. Available in One Bone. Here we go. Scene read. I was in my basement on Monday afternoon when Mike galloped down the stairs. For a few seconds I freaked out because no one knew about the basement except my family, and I had certainly never told anyone that my office was down there, and I had certainly never invited anyone over, especially Mike, in the entire time I'd known him. I quickly recovered when he stopped dead in the middle of the room with his jaw hanging open. I stopped as well and watched his facial expressions. His eyes scoured every inch of the 4 walls in my basement. They were covered in maps, newspaper articles, printouts of articles, photos, personal details, anything and everything about the murders, our classmates, and who potential killers were. Oh, and coloured string to join all the dots. Whoa, dude, he managed. This is more than I printed out and put together. His eyes scanned back and forth, his head moving in unison. I waited, nervous, palms sweating, tongue drying out. He stepped closer, reading everything I had on the walls. How did you get all this stuff? Why do you have all of this stuff? He finally turned to look at me, disbelief and shock all over his face. I shrugged. Well, I replied, calm now. When you mentioned doing it for an assignment, I thought, why not? Besides, with a lawyer for a mother and a forensic scientist for a father, it seemed only natural to try and figure it out and use it for my end-of-year assignment. The lie flowed smoothly from my tongue, but then again, maybe I would use it for my end-of-year assignment. Mike nodded. Yeah, I get that. I forgot about your parents. Yeah, bet they had something to say about all this stuff being in the news and all. Yes, we've had a lot of discussions about it. In fact, they wholeheartedly agreed about the assignment. My eyes followed Mike as he moved along the wall, and they offer great advice when needed. Yeah, I bet they do. He nodded in agreement and stopped. Hey, where'd you get this information from? He pointed to a paper on the wall, outlining the details of Vic and Kristen's death. I didn't read any of that in the paper or online. Well, as I said, my mother's a lawyer. I let the sentence trail off, hoping he would pick it up. His eyes widened. She's been getting stuff for you? I smiled. That is so cool. He kept moving around the room, and I stood wondering how the hell my mother could let him in or tell him I was in the basement. She knew that was my sanctuary, my office, my free space to express myself as I saw fit, and now I had to worry about blubbermouth Mike and him not keeping quiet. That was a scene read from www.badluckyourdead.com. All 3 of those stories are in One Bone, Anthology 1, under my kid's name of Tico Rathbone, out now in paperback large print, hardcover dust jacket, hardcover laminate, and trade paperback at all good online bookstores. Yeah, just the good ones.